So welcome back to class, everybody. Yesterday we started our new periodization, the red periodization. The first part of this periodization is this chapter here in our textbook called The Collapse and Recovery of Europe. And that starts with an event called World War One. World War One looks like this, and like this, and like this. It involved so many of the world's countries because the world was connected through imperialism, the Industrial Revolution. And we're going to be talking about World War One for the next 5 days. When we talk about World War One, we ask 3 questions. The first one, we ask, why did it start? The second one, we focus on Europe and the way that World War One changed Europe. The third one, we talk about World War One's effects outside of Europe, like its effect on African and Asian colonies, its effects on the Ottoman Empire in the Middle East, and its effects on Russia. So we're going to start with this question: why did World War I start? And to start, I want to recognize that the causes of World War I are actually very controversial. It happened about 100 years ago, so it's been in the news a lot lately. And here's an article that shows that there are 10 different interpretations about why World War I started and who is to blame. But according to this man here, Michael Lind, he has a specific opinion about who is to blame. So we're going to read his passage and decide what he thinks and what would help his argument and what would hurt his argument. So I'm going to read it aloud. He writes, people routinely opine that World War I was a needless and unavoidable catastrophe, variously attributed to the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, runaway arms races, or imperialism in general. The general impression is that nobody in particular was to blame for the greatest catastrophe in world history before the Second World War. In the world of 2019, treating World War I as the product of abstract forces like arms races or nationalism is doubtlessly useful in minimizing national hatreds. But despite this chatter, most historians, especially since the 1960s, tend to agree that the major cause of World War I was Imperial Germany's determination to become a world power by crippling Russia and France in what it hoped would be a brief and decisive war. Following the Archduke's assassination, Germany deliberately used the crisis in relations between Austria-Hungary and Serbia as an excuse for a general war that would establish German power from Belgium to Baghdad. World War I started in 1914 for the same reason that World War II started in 1939. A government in Berlin wanted a war, though not the war it ultimately got.